Welcome everybody. Sean McCoy is here to teach us about the opportunities to target federal employees and work with the federal space on their complex benefits, and tease the idea that we're going to do our first virtual Fed Ed. So as we all work to get through the current situation, we will might be able to educate ourselves and add to our skill sets while we're all stuck in our homes. So with that, Sean, take it away.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Sean McCoy. I'm the owner of Federal Employee Benefits Advocates, and we're joined today by Nick Woodward, who is our online strategist for everything that touches the digital world, if you will. So my company, Federal Employee Benefits Advocates, we're an educational company. We are based out of Shreveport, Louisiana. I've been in the financial services industry for around 32 years. I've spent the last decade working with federal employees. Now, that having been said, I don't participate in any of the commissions. I don't have my licenses anymore. So that's usually one of the first questions I like to get out of the way. So when you look at the federal employee marketplace, it's quite an opportunity, and most people are looking for another niche or another pond to fish in. So what we have is a rather large opportunity, but the first question is, why should you work with federal employees? There's a large misnomer that people think that federal employees are not very well compensated. Well, let's look at some statistics first off. The federal workforce is aging. 39% is 50 years of age compared to about 24% in the private sector. The average federal employee is 47 years of age with about 16 years of service. And beginning in 2018, 1 out of every 3 federal employees can retire. Now, the federal government is the largest employer in the United States with about 2.7 million federal employees. So that means roughly about 776,000 people will be eligible to retire. Also, it's competitively paid. In order to keep pace with what people are being paid in the private sector, the federal government must compensate those federal employees commensurate to what they would receive in a private sector job. Also, the allocation of the federal employees, 85% of all federal employees are outside the D.C. area. Some of the larger areas would be California, Texas, Virginia, Maryland, Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Illinois, and Ohio. When you work with federal employees, they really need your assistance. There are 7 key areas that federal employees need assistance with, and this is where you come in as a financial advisor. The first is in the pension income alternative, sometimes referred to as Pension Max. There are 2 retirement systems within the federal government. There's the old system, which closed out at the end of 1983, and only about 2% of the population remains. That's about 55,000 federal employees. And then the new system, which has been around since 1984, is the FERS. Both of these have a defined benefit plan, and they must choose a survivor option. And so one of the possible opportunities to provide assistance is to use life insurance in lieu of choosing one of the more expensive survivor benefit options. Now, there are some caveats that go with that, but we can discuss that at a later date. The FERS employees that have less than 10 years of service, this is an area I find that most federal employees who are in this position are not aware that if they die in service, there's no pension. And that means, number one, their family could be left with insufficient amounts of dollars to take care of their survivor needs. And in addition, if they don't have a minor child, they would lose the health insurance at the employee rate, meaning they have to pay essentially what is their term for COBRA, which is temporary continuous coverage, at 102% of the premium. So life insurance or a protection product would be an appropriate opportunity to help them with that. When it comes to accumulation, they have a thrift savings plan, which works very much like a 401k plan. They do get matching. Both systems can participate, but only the new system, the FERS, get an actual match. And what they need is they need a lot of help in allocating their dollars while they're in the accumulation phase. When you look at the statistics, according to the Office of Personnel Management, about 40% of all the money in the TSP is invested in the G Fund, which is, in essence, a money market account. So there is the possibility that they're not properly allocating their assets and should be looking to diversify those so that they can reach their goals for retirement. Another opportunity, and this is only with the CSRS program, is what's called the VCP, or the Voluntary Contribution Program. It's an archaic defined contribution plan that allows somebody covered under the old system, the CSRS system, to essentially put in up to 10% of everything they've earned, this is non-qualified money, into this account. Now, that doesn't sound like such a great deal. However, because of a change in the tax law in 2008, they can then take those funds, using this as a conduit, and transfer it into a Roth IRA, thereby avoiding the contribution limits, and for some people, avoiding the income limits that would prohibit them from doing it. This is just kind of a little something to wet your whistle when you look at the assets that are in the TSP. You can see there's a broad diversification as far as the amount that's in there, with the bulk of it coming in that 500 to 250,000 range. But as you can see, there are about 9,500 people that have over $1 million in their TSP. The other three areas of assistance come in the form of risk management. They have a federal employee group life insurance that allows them to have a basic, which is their salary rounded to the next 1,000 plus 2,000, a $10,000 flat coverage, and then an optional coverage called Option B that can go up to 5 times. So this can provide them some life insurance protection, but as we know, according to industry statistics from LIMRA, about 60% of all Americans are underinsured, and federal employees are no different. But in this particular program, their Option B coverage, when they start getting into their 50s, the costs start to escalate exponentially. And it is statistically possible and probable that a long-term employee could pay out more in Option B coverage than they would ever get in a death benefit. So that represents an opportunity to provide some assistance in the form of life insurance. Another area that's risk management has to do with disability. Their disability is a disability retirement program. It pays 60% the first year, offset 100% by Social Security, and then the second year it drops to 40%, offset by 60% of Social Security, and it is taxable. So this presents an opportunity for a standalone disability, or may be the case, a policy that has some living benefit riders that would mimic a disability plan. And then the final area is in the area of long-term care. Now, they have a long-term care program that's administered by John Hancock. The challenge is that what's happened is the cost of that program since its inception in 2002 has escalated at a tremendous rate. As a matter of fact, last year they had a substantial rate increase because they changed the plan in October of last year. So again, that provides the opportunity to do estate planning and to provide, for their family and the need that they have a long-term care. And this could be accomplished with either a standalone long-term care policy or, once again, with some type of life policy that has a critical, chronic, or even a accelerated death benefit. So you may be able to take care of multiple needs with just one policy. So at this point, there's probably 2 questions that you should be asking yourself. The first is, how do I find new prospects and turn them into clients? And how do I get the professional knowledge I'll need to work with federal employees? Well, at Federal Employee Benefits Advocates, we can help you with both of those situations. The first is our FedEd Advisor Training Program. We'll give you the knowledge, the tools, and support that you need to work with federal employees. And in addition to that, we also have FEBA seminars, which are seminars that can be licensed in order for you to provide educational seminars to federal employees. So let's talk about the FedEd program. Now, as Nick mentioned, most typically the FedEd program has been delivered historically in a face-to-face classroom setting over a 2-day period. But with the times that we're living in, people are not traveling due to restrictions and due to personal safety reasons. We've decided for the first time ever to offer a FedEd program virtually. That program will be held May 6th, 7th, and 8th. It'll be done in 3 4-hour segments. So to start the program off, what we'll do is if you sign up for the plan, the program, we will provide you with a study guide. And we try to cut registration off about 2 weeks in advance so that you can receive the study guide and have an ample amount of time in order to review this. This is a guide designed to help get you up to speed on the federal employee benefits. It's much like if you went to a preparatory class for a securities or insurance license, they would generally send you some pre-study materials so that when you show up to the class, you're prepared and you just don't come in from a cold start. The next area that we would provide you with would be what's called the classroom workbook. Now, the way that it will work for this particular program is the study guide will go out as soon as you sign up for the class, and then the classroom workbook will come to you 1 to 2 days before the class starts. so that you'll have that information and be prepared. It's going to have a series of exercises as well as copies of the slides. There'll be a place where you'll have an opportunity to take notes and to participate in a hands-on fashion. The other thing that we'll provide you with is the marketing guide. So the marketing guide is designed to help you to be able to prospect to federal employees. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to identify and locate and communicate with federal employees for the purposes of prospecting directly to federal employees to offer them a benefits analysis using the software that we provide, and we'll discuss that a little bit later on, to be able to communicate with federal agencies for the purposes of doing on-site benefit briefings, and kind of the hybrid of that would be to do an off-site meeting for the hopes of inviting people in the future to possibly get invited back on-site. So those are the three different methodologies that we teach you how to prospect with federal employees. In addition to that, we have marketing materials that are available for face-to-face meetings. Some of these materials we provide as a result of you coming through the class. Some of these materials are available to be purchased through our online store, which after this we'll send you a recording of this presentation along with a copy of the link to the online store. In addition to that, we also have a number of marketing pieces that come in the form of postcards, and these postcards can be used to be sent out. We do not find the prospects for you. You would simply purchase them, or you could provide us the resource through an Excel spreadsheet, and we can set it up to print them and mail them out on your behalf.
Now, one of the differentiators we have in our program is that we provide you with a software tool from one of the partners that we use called Ready Retire Solutions. This is called the Federal Gap Calculator. And what this calculator is designed to do is to allow you to be able to provide an in-depth analysis to federal employees and essentially use this as a point of sale piece when you're sitting down with the federal employees. Now, one of the tips that we've picked up recently is that oftentimes it's better to gather the data and then have the clients come back into your office, or virtually, if you will, because of the current situation, to be able to offer them a webinar type of program where you can change some of the variables, because what you thought they might initially be interested in may change, and they may want to look at some different scenarios. So this comes as a part of the program. This is a value added, and we conduct this on a separate training class with the software vendor, Ready Retire. In addition to that, we're going to provide you with a digital resource guide. This will come with the materials that we'll ship out to you for the class. These are about 85 different forms that you would use in the course of working with federal employees. And what it's designed to do is to kind of lighten the load of your learning curve with federal employees so that you would be able to have those documents readily available without having to go out to search for them. Also, there's some additional information on there that gives you a little deeper dive on some of the benefits. In addition to that, we'll allow you to test your knowledge online through a program called Class Marker. It's a 100-question exam. It takes two hours to go through, and if you successfully complete it, you'll be provided with a certificate that says that you have completed the class. Unfortunately, with our filings, the way that they've been set up, right now we're only allowed to give out CFP credits. We do have state credits available in certain states if we deliver it live, but as of the current situation with the virtual, we're not permitted to give the online credits for the for the CE credits. So the program gives you a comprehensive 2 days. In this case, it's not going to be 2 days. It's going to be 3 4-hour sessions, a study guide, the classroom workbook, the marketing manual, the digital resource library, the online exam, and the track software. So the cost of the program is $16.95. So if you put things into perspective, you think about this. Normally in the class, you would be out of the field for probably about 3 days. You would incur the cost of the travel, as well as the meals and the hotel expenses. So this really is an opportunity for you to be able to have 4 hours over a 3-day period, which keeps you in your office, keeps you at your house, and would lower some of the expenses associated with getting into this program. So again, this is the program that we offer. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to, if you have a question, if you will, raise your hand, and if we have any questions, then we'll answer those. If not, we will move on.
And just to clarify a little bit, there's a chat box, And that's what we're asking you to utilize if you can. Should be bottom right of your screen. But at this point, Sean, I'm not seeing anybody actively typing. So I think we should be good.
All right. Okay. Now, before we get into the next part of our program, which is the FEBA seminars, what I usually tell people at this point, if you want to be involved in the federal marketplace, you have to have what I call the 3 C's of commitment for this market. The first is you have to be committed to be a scholar of the benefits, because unlike the plans that you're familiar with now, ERISA, there's a dramatic difference between ERISA plans and what the federal government does, because they operate under federal law and federal statute. And in some situations, what you assume to be true in ERISA is completely the opposite when it comes to the federal government. The second C is the commitment of the resource of time to develop this market. This is not a market that you can go out and just jump right into the very next day. What you have to do is be prepared to take the time. For example, if you're going to set up seminars, particularly if they're going to be on site, you're talking probably at the very least 45 to 60 days, and in some cases, as much as 3 to 4 or 5 months. So you want to be prepared to have that time and transition into this. This is not something you want to stop doing. It's making you successful today to automatically try to jump into this marketplace, or that might lessen your success rate. The third C is the commitment of the financial resources to not only invest in the time that you would be attending the FedEd class, but also the resources to develop the marketing that you'll need in order to excel in this federal marketplace. So to assist you in that area, we also have a program that we make available called FEBA seminars. These are educational seminars that are designed to help you to build a relationship with your potential prospects. Now, these are complete seminar packages. They come in full and half-day modules for both CSRS and FERS. And then there's independent modules that are a part of the program. One of the questions that come up quite frequently is, can we just purchase a module? Well, first off, there's not a purchasing. It's a licensing agreement that you make with the firm. And included in that would be the individual modules. So if you wanted to do, say, a lunch and learn, or just do an online Zoom session with someone simply on the life insurance or the TSP, it makes it available. In addition to that, we also have a full and half-day financial literacy briefing that's designed to be complementary to the understanding your federal benefits. However, it's something that could be delivered. It's generic to pretty much anyone in the country. And we do that because oftentimes we'll do a full day on the FERS or SERS program and do a half a day on financial literacy, simply because it ties in areas that their benefits briefings do not cover. And then our latest program that we've offered is called Divorce and Its Effect on Federal Employees, and that's available in both a 2-hour and a 4-hour version. So this is an example of a full day workbook. The cover, it gives you an opportunity to be able to, I don't know what's happening here with my slides, they're going a little crazy, but this is what the workbook looks like. And so you can see we cover the 7 key areas of the benefit briefings. They become a very useful resource for the attendees for the class. The way that the program is set up, they're set up 2 per page, and where appropriate, the graphics are enlarged so that the participants can see. Now, they don't come in a color in the actual printed book. That would be a little bit too expensive to do. But again, the idea is to take graphical content to help the employees understand some complex concepts and kind of put it down to a level that's manageable for them to absorb the information. In addition to that, one of our features that we offer that no one else in this space does is what's called a benefits worksheet. Now, this benefits worksheet is designed to help the federal employee to look at their benefits in a holistic fashion. Now, oftentimes advisors will say, you know, Sean, why would you offer that? That negates the reason for them to want to sit down with me. Well, the truth of the matter, it doesn't. What it actually does is it really disturbs them because they realize they haven't looked at their benefits in a holistic fashion. They've looked at them rather myopically. And so this allows them to look at it at one time, but it also disturbs them. It also allows them to take it home to discuss with their spouse, to see what their spouse may be interested in, or to educate them. And for the advisor, what it does is provide you with an opportunity to have, if you will, for lack of a better term, an initial fact find in working with the federal employees. So If you do license the material, we have a invitation. This is something that would be used to send out to the federal employees to invite them to attend, to give them the information. This can also be used for a webinar format, so it would be available. It comes in a form fillable PDF so that you can send this out to the participants or to the point of contact so that they can invite people to attend the seminars. In addition to that, we also have an evaluation form that we use. It comes standard in all the materials. It's in there. It allows them to evaluate the speaker and the materials. And then there's a place at the bottom where they have a chance to put down their contact information if they'd like to sit down with you for an individual consultation. Now, some of the services that we offer, if we come in and deliver the seminar for you, we'll actually produce a report post-seminar so that you can take that back to the point of contact and show a graphic analysis of how the presentation was received. In addition, we also offer the financial literacy, as I mentioned earlier. These are full and half-day resources. These could be actually delivered to anyone. And as I mentioned, we offer these most of the time in a half-day format. And this is especially helpful if you have a situation where you have a non-federal employee spouse attending, because it addresses some of the concerns or some of the benefits that they may have an opportunity to participate in. And our newest seminar is divorce and its effect on federal employees. Federal employees, if they get divorced, some very dramatic things can happen in their benefits package if they don't do it properly. And what I found is most federal employees are unaware of this, and the vast majority of attorneys don't understand it either. So this represents an opportunity for you to kind of have a niche within the niche, or in some cases, some people may use it as an opportunity to prospect to attorneys as looking as a referral source for additional federal employee or other business. So these are comprehensive training programs that give you the communications, the complete benefits training, the benefits worksheet, and the summary reports if desired. So those are the programs that we offer as far as the FedEd Advisor Training Program. As I mentioned, that class will be offered May 6th, 7th, and 8th. We're going to do it in a situation where we'll start with the class. We'll go at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Mountain, and then Pacific time, it'll be at 8 o'clock, and they'll run for a 4-hour span over that 3-day period, which is a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So those are the seminar programs that we have available. Now, as far as the cost for the seminar programs, there's a licensing fee. Those fees are $2,500. So what we're doing as kind of a special for the beginning of 220 is if you license the FERS program for $2,500, we automatically give you the CSRS program at no additional cost. So that's about a $2,500 savings. Now, on each of these programs, there's a renewal of $500. The financial literacy is $2,000, and that includes the full and half day. Now, these are single license users, which means that you can't license it and have everybody in your office use it. If you license it and there's anyone else in the office that will participate in the sale from products, we require a sub-licensing agreement, and we can discuss the cost on that. Now, in some cases, people may say, okay, I want to simply have you come out and deliver the seminar. Well, if you've licensed the material, the cost to do that is $1,500 a day. And then we also charge you for the participant books that are $8 for a half day, $10 for a full day. And most of the modular books will range somewhere between $2 and $3. So if for some reason you decide you don't want to license the material, then we can come out and deliver that to you, but our fee is $2,000 per day. Now, if you have us under a multi-day presentation, we'll drop the price down to the $1,500, and we do require you to pay reasonable travel expenses as well as the cost of books. So what we try to do at Federal Employee Benefits Advocates is we try to be like a bait and tackle store. We're not in the business of providing you the fish. We're not in the business of providing you leads, nor are we in the business of setting seminars up for you. We're in the business of empowering you to have control over your business and to be able to set up your own particular prospecting program. So again, we offer comprehensive programs. We offer you the new knowledge, tools, and support to work with federal employees. So if you want additional information, you can check out our website at FEBAadvocates.com. Or if you want to chat with me personally, you can reach me at 720-432-3331. Or if you like, you can simply email your questions to Sean at FEBadvocates.com. So at this point, Let's see if anyone has any questions, Nick, about the program.
Excellent. Again, folks, the chat function, if you do have any questions, is just bottom of the screen, a little bit to the right. Not seeing anybody typing yet again. I think we're probably good to go, Sean.
All right, well, very good. Well, listen, thank you everyone for joining the program today. If you have additional questions, please let us know. We will be sending out a recorded version of this presentation to everyone who signed up for the program, as well as a link to the class that we're having in May, and a link to our online store so you can look at the other products and services that we offer. So again, thanks everyone for your time. Have a great day and a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye.